So hi everybody, I am part of the Designer Crafts Connection, and with that, we help promote companies that are trying to get off the ground, are just starting in the craft industry, and they send us product, and then we get to play with it and then showcase it, do videos, do blog hops, and all kinds of stuff. And I just got a new box for the month, for the next hop that is coming up in October. Okay, so what this is a way of making your own molds to make your own objects. So this is the mold putty. This putty right here, it makes your own molds for resin, food, soap, wax, clay, and more. I'm probably going to use this for clay, but maybe not. I might use it for something else. You can take whatever objects you have lying around the house. So let's say you have an object, you could do a cast of your scissors. You could do casts of all kinds of stuff. So you measure equal amounts of the two pieces together, and then you press it into the mold, you pop it out, and now you have a mold, and you can use that over and over again to make new objects. So it's pretty cool. So we got this. This is the mold putty, and you could just take equal parts. Oops, this one kind of eked out a little bit. It's okay. When you're using this, you do want to make sure that you measure equal amounts. You mix thoroughly, and I think that's why we got the little mixing cups. So here we got the graduated measuring cups to help measure out our objects. And I think this got a little bit pushed, but this doesn't activate or do anything until you put the two pieces together. So it's not a big deal that this got opened up, or this, you know, as long as they don't combine, then you're good to go. So you have two pieces here. Let's try one. Let's see what happens. I picked out three little objects. These are just, I had some metals sitting on the side here. So here I have a key, I have a little gear, and then I have like a lock. And these are fun, and I love them, and I hate the fact that I'm always having to use them up and I don't have replacements. So this might solve my problem. So let's figure out how to do this. It says a 1-to-1 equals amounts of side A and side B. So here's our side A and side B. Here's A and here's B. By weight or volume. So we're going to do it by volume and use the little cups. So they were very nice, and there's 3 little cups. So here's our 2 little cups, and these are just, you know, standard little measuring cups. And they also gave us a whole bunch of stir sticks to help us make them, using all of Alumilite's mold making rubbers and casting resins. So we'll get out one little stir stick. These are just popsicle sticks, but it's nice to have it on hand. So here we go. So we're going to take equal parts, and we're going to use this little measuring. And it does kind of fit into, because it's soft. So we're going to do our best. We're going to put it in here. Hang on, Catherine. My daughter's here, and she's very eager to play with this. So I'm going to do my best to try and get equal parts. Here we go. So we're going to squish these down. I do want to make sure. So we're just kind of using the little cup here as our measuring guide. It is a 1-to-1 ratio, and you do want to make sure you get it pretty even. And a little more of this one. So I'm measuring it up to this 2 drams. It was the easiest one that I could find. Oh, and now I've got this one a little bit too much, and this one not enough. There we go. Okay, so now we're going to mix. And I'm guessing these little cups can be reusable. And I probably could have used these to help pull it out, so I'm not using my fingers. But the stuff is very soft, very easy to work. I'm going to give my daughter a little bit to mix. Here, you mix that, and I'll mix this. And you really want to blend it well. You really don't want to see any of the 2 colors anymore. If you don't fully blend it, then it's not going to hold. And so you want to make sure that you don't see either of the 2 colors be completely solid. And this blends really well. Sorry about my finger. I sliced it the other day, and it's still not 100%. It's better than it was. All right, here, you blend this, and I'll blend that. Switch. So see how you can still see the 2 colors? And can I show this one again? So you don't want it to look like this, you want it to look like this. There you go. So keep blending until it's all one color. And I think I have more than enough here to actually do all 3 of these objects. So I'm going to split these up in order to make the casting of the 3. There we go. So a nice, good, solid color. Can I have that back, please? Here we go. So 2 drams are just barely an inch. I mean, I barely even touched it, and all of a sudden, look how much I have here. So I'm going to roll this out. There we go. And we're going to take a little section for each of them. And I want to make sure that I get all of the creases out of here. So really roll it up until you can't see that there's any creases. And then you want to kind of flatten it out, because otherwise your mold's going to have some problems. And I want to do the side that has all the texture. So here I go. And I've never played with this before. This is brand new to me. So we're going to kind of test it out. Okay, here's one. Oh, see, this has still got creases. You got to get rid of those creases. And it's starting to harden up. It is definitely, okay, we're going to take the, you want to put that one in? Upside down. Upside down. My daughter's trying to help out. There you go. We're going to squish it in. Move your fingers. Move your fingers in. There we go. There we go. The mold is definitely starting to harden up a little bit. So this guy is starting to get hard. I don't know if, I think you got to work with it pretty fast. So this is already past its point. It's not wanting to mold. It's kind of gotten into its rubbery state. So when you're doing this, you have to just fast. This one is fine and this one was fine, but I didn't get enough in order to do this. So word of caution, have your items ready. Don't mold it and then leave, because this does set, and it did say on here, it sets in 20 minutes. So measure equal amounts, mix thoroughly, roll over original, let cure for 20 minutes, remove original, and then mold and cast. So we're gonna let these sit for a while. I think I can move this guy over. So we still gotta let these sit for a while. This is now toast. There it is. But this is why we have our mixing thing. So I'll have to come back and do my key another little bit later. And then let's see what this is all about. So that was really easy. That did not take much time at all. And now I have these casts to do all kinds of stuff. So super moldant, transparent, amazing clear cast, 2-part clear coat casting resin. So this is a clear casting resin. Let's see what this is all about. So again, this is what some of the cups are for. So we got a few cups, but now I have a ton of cups. So this is really what the cups are for, and this is what really the sticks are for. So as you can see, this is an easy way of doing a whole bunch of clear coats on stuff. Mix equal amounts, so you're gonna measure it out. Mix thoroughly, and then pour over whatever you wanna pour it over. That's very cool, and it leaves this clear coat resin, so you can use this for all kinds of stuff. Very cool. So I've had these fun little pieces for a while, and I have a whole bunch of them. I got a bunch from a demo that I was doing, and I have quite a few left over. These are from Prima. These are these fun little things. And I thought, well, maybe they would be really cool if I could put some of these beads in. So you just kind of layer the beads in, and then I thought maybe we could, I don't know if we want to put the resin in first. We're going to play with that. We'll try 2. So one, I'm going to pour the resin in first, then put the beads. The other one, I'm going to put the beads in first. And I have a little piece of paper because the back sides of these guys have a little hole. So obviously the resin's going to kind of fall through. So I am going to get a little craft mat out so I don't ruin my board. All right, so I just have a little craft mat so I don't ruin my board here. All right, so we just put some beads in, and they're all different sizes. These have got actually some pretty heft to it. This one we're going to come back and we're going to pour the resin in after the fact. So again, this says, I'm just going to read, 1:1. So we're going to pour a 1:1 ratio. Here's A side and B side. Okay, got to take a little seal off. We're going to pour out, we're going to go to the 1/8, to the 1 dram. And this is a pretty thick liquid. Go. This first one, make sure you seal it up. You don't want it to lose its quality because it's air. When you get so much air in there, and you're gonna have a problem. It does also have instructions on the side of the bottle, so that's fantastic. Okay, same. Oh, this has got a little bit of a smell, but it's okay. So you're not gonna use a whole lot. 1 dram. And I'm just using the word dram because that's what's written on the label. It's not like I have to use drams. There's a ton of different measuring markers on here. We've got cc's, we've got milliliters, we've got tablespoons, we got fluid ounces, and we got drams. And it's easy to go with the 1, 2, 3 on the drams. It's just the first number I saw, and there you go. So now we're gonna pour these together. I'm gonna do the side that's a little more viscous, meaning that it's got a little more watery appeal to it. We're gonna pour that in first. And I'm not really sure if these little cups are reusable, which is I think why they gave me so many, so I could make so many projects. And I think if you're gonna do a large project, you could get bigger cups and you probably have to throw them away. Now really mix this well. Whoops, stand this guy up. Mix this up. It's definitely getting thicker. You can see the thickness kind of going to it. So now it says mix thoroughly, pour slowly. So I'm mixing thoroughly. There we go. And now we're going to try in 2 different ways. First one, we're going to pour it in. Whoa, it is definitely going bubbling over. This is why I put a mat underneath. I do want to put a little bit in here too. Here we go. I'm going to fill the rest of this guy in. And this is not like I'm trying to make perfection. I'm just testing this thing out to see how it works and see how well it does. And I think I've got way more than I need. And that's okay. A little more in this guy. And hopefully I can try and clean some of this up. So I've got more than I need, and that's fine. So I did, 1 dram of each, and that was plenty. Now we're going to stick a few of the smaller beads in this guy, just little ones. So I don't know which method is better, if you fill it up first and then pour it over top. Yeah, I think that's with this method here, I have less chance for it to kind of run over. Oop, that's not going to really fit in there. But here's the other thing, is that once I put these beads in, if I poured it ahead of time, now they're coated, I really can't get them out. For this method, I could kind of play with exactly how I wanted it and then pour it in, and now I can kind of go through and add some more and kind of rest them in on top. So I probably would go for this method, and then I don't over pour and have a problem. So now I've got to kind of try and clean this up. So I'm just going to try and go through, and I'm just using a Kleenex right now. I'm kind of cleaning up the edges here. So I put way too much casting, and I want to clean up my mat. Oops, runaway bead. All right, so now we're going to let this dry and let this kind of set. And what does it say? How long does it take? Oh, this says it takes 30 to 40 minutes. So there we go. Full cures in 7 days. So we're going to come back. We're going to let these guys sit. So we've got our 2 molds over here, which are starting to get stuck to our table. And these guys only take about 20 minutes. So I'm going to come back in about, oops, this guy's already starting to pop out. My daughter pulled this out right after it started kind of setting. So we're going to let this kind of set for a minute. And then we'll come back and take a look and see how they're all doing. So I've let these sit for about 2 hours or so, kind of let them do their thing. And one thing I've automatically noticed about the molds is these are done, is that they're kind of a squishy mold. They're very pliable, which is really kind of awesome. And they'll hold up just fine. So this is ready to go and to make more. I don't know how well it's going to do with the fact that these little knobs are so big, but we'll see. It's work in progress. Then here's another one, and I did notice that when we did this particular one, my daughter pulled it up really fast, and so over here it didn't get as good of an impression as it probably could have. Plus, my metal piece is a little warped. I don't know if you can see that or not. See how it's kind of warped in? So because it's warped in, it couldn't get an impression on this side right here because it's flared up instead of being nice and flat like the rest of it. So that is one thing to make sure that your piece that you're using as your molding or as your cast, your object that you're making the mold from, is level and flat so it doesn't flare up and so you get good quality, because right now what's over here is kind of muddled and disturbed. So things to keep in mind, but very cool, loving that. As for these 2 objects, because it had a hole in the bottom, and I'll show you this really fast, because this little hole in the bottom, it's kind of seeped through. So I would have probably been better off to put something a little thicker than just paper to stop it from kind of seeping through, because it keeps on creating kind of a mold in here. It is definitely in here to set. This one looks really cool. It's kind of a neat effect. They're not moving around. They're there, but it's still tacky. It's not dry yet. This one is taking, I think, much longer because there's so much more liquid in here. And see how it's kind of sticking? So it's creating a little stickiness. It's better now. I think it's pretty much done with the seepage, but I also got it on the lip. I really wish I would have stayed more into the whole center, because now some of the little flowers around here have kind of some stuff and some don't. So, but this was just a tester. This was just a practice. It's not tacky anymore. but I can still see that I'm leaving a fingerprint mark. So if you were going to do this for real, I would leave it on a non-stick mat to make sure, or make sure there's no stuff underneath it. So it was fully, you know, the resin was fully inside there, and then make sure you don't touch it because this is still really kind of tacky, even though it's been going for 2 hours. It did say on the bottle, I love that these have the instructions, that it can take, you know, for 24 to 48 hours to fully set. So work time 30 to 40 minutes, that's how much time you have before you need to work on it, but it will take a day or two to fully set in there. So that's what I have gotten. So these are some fun things. I'm not quite sure where I'm going to go with what I'm going to make as a project with these, but you know, it's cool. I love the possibility of this clear casting stuff. It's just really fun. And then we got all these other little fun goodies to kind of help make and create and do cool things. So thank you so much, Illuminite. This is at moldputty.com. Yeah, my daughter's helping me arrange all my little items. So I got some new pieces to create some fun stuff, some cool molding. So this is the amazing mold putty and some little cups to make all this stuff with. So amazing, cool thing. So thanks for stopping by, and come check me back out in October and see what this is all about and see what we can make with it. So thanks for stopping by. Bye-bye.